The Digimon card game is my favorite TCG. Whether it's running a deck of your favorite character, playing the best deck in the room to try and win, or just simply throwing some bulk together to have fun, there is something here for everybody. I myself somewhat competitively play, and after I qualified for nationals at a store regional, I figured I'd take the rest of the year to do a little challenge. I'll be starting out with 2 copies of the Fable Waltz structure deck, and each week give myself $25 to spend on sealed product to hopefully make my deck better. No purchasing singles, no trading cards with friends, just me and hopefully some good cards that I need. Let's see just how far this deck can take me. Welcome to Sealed Only Digimon. How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the first episode of Sealed Only Digimon. The goal for this series is still undetermined. I'm probably going to try and take it to maybe a store regional later this year. But for now, I'm mostly doing this because I'm kind of bored of playing like what a lot of people think are really, really strong decks. And I know it looks kind of weird with what I have here and the support that's coming out, but I'm kind of bored of just being able to buy what I want. And so I figured I'd give myself a little bit of a challenge and see what I can kind of come up with. So what we have in front of us are 2 Fable Waltz structure decks. I'm going to shoot for around $20-ish, $30 probably is what I'll end up going with. I just don't want to spend a ton of money just to try to get some upgrades. And with the hit rates in Digimon, I should be able to get a couple of the rares I probably need, maybe an uncommon or common as well, hopefully. Fingers crossed. You might be out there asking yourself, why go with the Fable Waltz deck and not one of the new adventure structure decks? The thing is about the adventure decks, I was originally planning on doing them. I just had a friend who looked at me and said, but yeah, isn't that already solved? Like, isn't that already a good deck? Like, you just need a couple of cards to upgrade it. And I looked at her and I said, you are 1000% correct. And, there might be the new Alterus mode and the new Sagittarius mode coming out, but I don't really think that they do anything. Actually, let me clarify it this way. I'm not good at building for adventure for whatever reason. I have a pretty solid understanding of everything else, but for some reason, adventure just eludes me on how correctly to build it. So I think that overall, these 2 guys right here are going to be our best bet. With all that being said, let's go ahead and tear into one of these guys and show you what we're looking at. Bear with me as I kind of learn my recording setup. I'm using an old phone arm right now to do a lot of it, and I'm just recording the video on my phone, which is why the video here looks so much better than the video here, I suppose. Let's get started. These are the eggs that we're going to be using for the foreseeable future. Kyaromon. When attacking, if you control the Digimon, draw a card. Fantastic for a sealed card. There's not much that we want more than that. This is just an automatic 4 of. If we'd play 5, we could, but there's no reason to. Junkmon here. I think we have 4 copies of him, who has a decoy for a puppet trait, so he can sacrifice himself if anything else is deleted. And Inherited Barrier is actually pretty solid. We have 4 of these guys. Shumon is actually a searcher, which I had not realized. For some reason, I thought the searcher one was in EX7, but this makes this a lot easier. The Shumon just searches the top 3, adds a puppet and a liberator. Fantastic. The inherited effect's kind of a mediocre, but we're mostly here for the inherited effect. And again, we are not really looking there we're not worried about there only being 2 copies there because they'll have 4 copies overall. The Pawn Chessmon together. It always sucks these guys cost 1 to Evo, but this one is just another way for me to draw into cards that are really strong, or I could Evo into in a pinch. So 4 copies of the Pawn Chessmon on play, discard 1 to draw 2. And the same thing here, except just on deletion. This one has blocker. So both of those will probably see some manner of being in the deck list. But that is, speaking of the deck list, the rookies that we have so far available to us. Doggymon is such a silly name. On play and on deletion gives one of my opponent's Digimon Sec -1. This will probably be one of the first ones that we cut if we can help it. We have 4 copies of him, so it's probably not guaranteed, but I would like to because I just don't see that coming up a huge amount. Like the on play, on deletion, Sec -1 might be okay, but I don't know. Maybe. Especially with the new Tamer, I suppose it's not terrible. Tobu Catmon is just jamming and barrier. Very, very solid card. Very excited to have a level 4 that I can put some aggression into. That gives me barrier. This Shushumon does have a security to play a Liberator trait card with 4 cost or less from hand or trash whenever checked in security. Very solid. In archetype, we'll probably end up playing 4 copies of it just for lack of other options. And those are only level 4s. So we'll probably end up playing playsets of Tobucatmon and Shushumon, and then like 1 or 2 Doggymon for the time being. Pandamon on deletion, we can cheat out a level 3, which is really solid if we have it coupled with the blocker and on deletion Pawn Chessmon. We can kind of combo up our way there. So we'll be probably playing a non-zero amount of Pandamon until we get some new cards. EX Tyrannomon can Digivolve, Digivolves for 4, which is kind of unfortunate, and we don't have access to any Tyrannomon or Raremon, but we do have a level 4 puppet trait, so we could theoretically play this for 5 to have an armor purge, and then underneath it we could put any of our 4s. So not terrible. Again, we're kind of just grasping at straws here on what we're going to be doing. The Chaperonemon, on the other hand, is really, really good. One of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 3k for the turn, and then if there are 3 or more Digimon total between you and your opponent's field, that's an additional minus 3. So we can get up to minus 6 on one body, and it gives protection if something would be removed. If this Digimon would leave the battle area, we can delete a token or something else to do so. We don't have to do it. Again, we'll be at 4. Sendromon, this is our main game ender. When digivolving, we do just get to play 2 familiar tokens, and the familiar tokens do let us kind of push that aggression that we might need. There are better level 6s. I'm hoping to be able to pull them between the Sendromon from EX7 and the new upcoming one in EX9. I think both those are much better, but we're playing with what we're given, right? So we're at 2 of those guys, and then we have some Shinmonzemons. Seeing a level 5 or lower card with Numemon or the puppet trait from the trash as its bottom source, recover +1. Honestly, not terrible for a when digivolving effect, and it does have armor purge. So if we do need to sit on a copy or 2 of this for a turn or 2, while we're building up to our central bond, it might not be awful. I think we will replace it as soon as physically possible, but it's not terrible to have. Arisa Kinosaki, she's a setter, and also whenever we play a token or a puppet trait, we can suspend her to give it rush. Fantastic, giving us some more aggression, what we're going to be doing. Noble Family Arts is usually a card that a lot of people look over since it's 5 costs to give something theoretically minus 12,000, but we are going to need to use every piece that we possibly have available to us. Is this worth Heaven's Judgment? Yes. Do we have Heaven's Judgment? Not yet, so this is where we're at. 4 copies of it. And then we also have 2 copies of Yellow Memory Boost, which are fantastic, and definitely going to be playing a playset of each of these. And in addition to our Memory Boosts, we do have these guys, these trainings. These trainings are all really nice. It's 1 of every color. We will have access to 2 of each of them for as long as we have this series going on. So any pivots that we do into any other strategies and colors will be greatly benefited by us having access to these. Obviously, the most important one for the sake of what we're doing right this very second is this physical training. So yeah. Honestly, I will tell you all now, I had completely forgotten I had access to Yellow Memory Boost from the Structure deck, and that is fantastic to see. I really enjoy being able to have access to my Memory Boost because I didn't know what my consistency was going to look like. But with that, let's go ahead and wrap up this segment, and I'm going to go build a deck and come back to you guys when that's done. All right, and we're back. The deck, believe it or not, was extremely simple to build. I got my 54 here. I've gone over most of it already whenever I was kind of building it, so we're just going to go through it, kind of a lightning round thing, and see how well we do. So first, again, the only egg that we are legally allowed to play at this current moment is Kiaramon. We're playing the Kiaramon. Probably going to play the Kiaramon for a very long time. Next up, we are on, for our rookies, we're on 4 Shumon. We're on 3 Junkmon. Let's move them over a little bit so you guys can better see it. And we'll move up. 3 Junkmon, 4 Pawn Chessmon, and 2 of the other Pawn Chessmon. 13 seemed like a good number of rookies, especially with how I'll be cheating them out. Especially wanting to kind of hard drop them for overclocking reasons. These 2 I'm playing at 4 are the good ones. These ones are not as good, but do come up occasionally, and I would like to have them in rotation. So that's the numbering on the reasons on that. Cannot wait to, with my 6 Pawn Chessmon, hopefully just draw a bunch of cards, and my Shumon, hopefully getting me to my top end. That's the rookies. Next up, we have the champs. We're at our 4s. We have 4 Tobucatmon. I know I said I hated him, but I literally have to play him. 2 Doggymon, and 4 Shushumon. I didn't say I hated him, I just thought it wasn't great, but he is kind of important here with what we're doing. Notably, Overclock can delete any puppet trait Digimon as long as it doesn't specify a level. So having him, being able to kind of just play him for 4, Sendromon, end of turn, overclock, delete him to give something else sec -1, might come up. Again, we will be replacing him at some point in the future, but for now we have to play him, and who knows, 4 cost to play out of 4 might not be the end of the world depending on kind of what we're looking at for the future. Next up, we have for Chaperomon, 2 Pandamon, 2 EX Tyrannomon. Originally, I was kind of thinking of just going 4 and 4 on these guys, and I might change that, but the Armor Purge again might come up. The X Tyrannomon is a puppet trait, so we can delete himself and then trigger the overclock to Armor Purge, and that might come up, I guess. Like, it helps us keep a body on board, and we're not really in a position to be complaining about how we can keep any sort of advantage in rotation. So we're going to try this out for now. 4-2-2 split. I could see myself going to like 4 and 3. Originally, that's what I was at, but then I realized I only had 49 cards, and I needed 50, so I figured I'd just throw in 2 EX Tyrannomons. Just to try it out and see if my thoughts about how bad it might be are correct. For our 6s, we're on 4 of the Structured X Sendril and 2 of the Shinmonzemon. I really like the Shinmonzemon in theory. I think it's a really interesting card. When Evo tuck another source, the only problem is that our current sources are barrier, and a lot of barrier. However, if we're in a really bad situation, barrier might not be a bad thing to have. I do want to double check here. I believe... Oh no, so Shumon and Shushumon both give the -3k on our opponent's security, so that could come up, and we can tuck that with Shinmonze. Again, don't want to keep him forever, but you gotta do what you gotta do. So that's what we are at here. And then again, you know, Sendril is fantastic at kind of closing out games for what we need it for. The EX7 one will be significantly better if and when we get our hands on it. Our Tamers are just 3 of the setter. I don't think you need any more than that normally, even in a lower power deck building philosophy that I'm in right now. I think 3 is plenty. I don't think you need more than that. I will be keeping it at 3 for the foreseeable future, and I might jump it down to 2 once we start getting a higher density of good Tamers. We're on 4 Noble Family Arts, just because I feel like I really need removal. This does delete something up to 12k for 5 cost, which we cannot sneeze at. Like, we kind of have to respect that. And so I think 4 is fine. We might bottom deck some every once in a while. It also helps us. It might be in security. So yeah, 4 copies there. For the rest of our options, we are on 4 Yellow Memory Boost and 2 Physical Training. Shouldn't need to explain these guys. These guys are here to help me search my pieces and get to where I'm going. So these will help me invaluably, and I am so happy that I have the Yellow Memory Boosts because I forgot that I had them in my rotation. So that is the deck list. I am not feeling confident that I will win an event anytime soon with this. However, I am excited to actually kind of play something and have an idea of what I'm playing for the foreseeable future. I've kind of just been playing Cross Art because that's my favorite deck, and I'm actually really interested and excited to be able to play this one. This one's going to be so much fun. So I don't have anything else. It's a couple days out from the event, so I guess I'll get to doing some test hands, and we'll go from there. And we're back from the tournament. Definitely on the next video, don't comment about how I'm wearing a different shirt from the one from my pack opening in the next video. Definitely don't comment that, and don't give me the engagement. I'm watching you. In either case, this is a couple days after the tournament. For the most part, everything went particularly well. I did better than I expected to be completely transparent. I have some notes here, some general notes that I'm going to go through, and I have some video showing, right? There, wow, I'm actually mirrored, so it's over here. Wow, video editing. It was only an 8-person event this time around, so it's not too terrible. Not a huge event. We usually get like 12 to 14 on occasion, so a little bit smaller than normally, but we had a good turnout, and so I was able to play against 3. We were able to play 3 rounds. Round 1, I was against Galantex, and honestly, what were you expecting me to be able to do here? Galantex has removal on all bodies. All of its removal just barely gets over my DP threshold, so there's not really much that I was able to do in the matchups. Game 1, I was able to get a Sendromon out on turn 2, but unfortunately, due to the removal that I had available to me, I actually wasn't able to out his board before I was able to make it to my next turn, and he was able to just clean me out right afterwards. After Galantex is established, there's nothing left for me to do. It was a very quick 2-0. I put out my hand for a handshake. GG's. Let's go next. Set 2 is against Mastemon. This wasn't the most highly tuned and optimized Mastemon build, but they gave me a run for my money still. I mean, game 1, I thought we were playing pretty okay, and I had a lethal line in my head set up. And then I passed the turn and then looked at their board and went, oh, if they have the DNA, I'm dead. And then they had the DNA. So game 1 ended with me having a defeat. However, games 2 and 3 were a little bit quicker in my favor. I was able to kind of chew through the security as quick as possible because that's what Central is there for. Central is there to attack hopefully twice per turn and just kind of chew through everything as quickly as possible. We actually took that set 2-1. I am astounded that we were able to get away with that. Ecstatic, of course, but shocked that we were able to get away with it. We were able to get a win in our first week of our Sealed Only Challenge. So positivity is up and up. Set 3 was versus Diaboromon, and Noble Family Arts shows up and tells us why we are at 4 copies of this card. Noble Family Arts was in security, and because Diaboromon goes wide, its ability to be at 12,000 for deletion came up constantly. I was able to out a Diaboromon ace, I believe 2 or 3 times. Definitely 2, maybe 3. I can't 100% remember, but game 1, it was in my favor. I was about to win, and I forgot what EX6 Caramon did, and he warped up into Diaboromon and completely stopped me from being able to win the game, which was a bummer. That was I would have had a game against Diaboromon, which I would never have guessed in a million years. Really carried on the back of that Noble Family Arts. Game 2, I decided to go first again. I was able to get set up, but my opponent just had a slightly faster start this time around. There was really not much I could do to combat against that, so my opponent, unfortunately, was able to take it over me 2-0. But that was the end of the first week. I was able to end up 1-2. I got a couple of prize packs, and I decided for next week that we're going to open 6 packs of EX7. I totally have them right here in my hand. Via the magic of photo editing, I'll be able to have, you know, a little Zafagamon pack thing in front of me. I definitely am not recording this while I'm editing the video because I had an idea. This is definitely all intentional. But with that, I think I'm going to go ahead and end off this video. I want to thank you all so much for watching. If you like the video, please feel free to like. Feel free to subscribe if you want to see more. And definitely let in the comments, let me know what you want to see. Consider subscribing. I'm trying to work up to be able to make back just a little bit of the money that I'm spending here. I'm not a huge Centralmon stan, so with that, thank you so much. I will catch you all next time, hopefully every week. And from here on out, go make somebody smile today. You know, that's your job. Go make somebody smile. See ya.